And I will share my screen. And so thank you all, or both of you, for joining tonight. I just want to take a quick moment. You know, as a virtual event, we have been so thrilled. Oh, letting someone in. We've been so thrilled to have our sponsors stick with us, and it's been just, you know, so amazing to see some of these people whose logos you see right here are being affected deeply by this situation. So the fact that they're hanging in and still supporting the fight against cancer is huge. So without having a live event this year, we're trying to take advantage of every chance we have to give them a shout out. So of course, She Jams is sponsoring tonight, so big thank you to She Jams, and just to all of these folks. If you find yourself able to patronize any of them, we would appreciate that because they have done so much for us. My name is Julia Batchelder, and I am the events manager at Maine Cancer Foundation. There we go to the next slide is upcoming clinics. Oh, I'm letting in another person. Here we go. So I'm the events manager.
Everybody's swimming tonight.
Exactly. So I'm the events manager at Maine Cancer Foundation. I've been here since 2011. I'm sorry, not 2011. I did the try in 2011, but I've been here since the end of 2016. So been through this a few times, and so grateful that you guys are hanging in with us as we, you know, navigate the world of virtual. And we've just been really thrilled that people are hanging in there and still excited about this. We're excited about it. We're excited about some of the flexibility that being a virtual event affords us, which we're going to talk a little bit more in terms of completing the swim and the bike and the run. And most of all, we're just so grateful that you are continuing to support Maine Cancer Foundation. Maine Cancer Foundation is pivoting in several ways to try to cover some of the new challenges that have been presented to cancer patients in this time. So with some grants to give financial support to cancer patients, we've been distributing hand sanitizer to cancer patients and caregivers. And at the same time maintaining our work and trying to reduce the incidence and burden of cancer here in Maine. We raised $2 million last year at the try, which is insane. And we turned around and gave out $2.8 million. So it's a sense of how much this event does for the state. And you know, that's going to be a different year, but we're really excited about it and just so thrilled that you are all supporting us and making a challenge for yourself, and we can't wait to experience this with you. So today is the virtual swim clinic, June 4th, and we have one more next week is the virtual transition clinic. So if you want to sign up for that, you still can. As always, they will be recorded, so not to worry if that doesn't work for you. And then if I can advance my slide. Just a little bit about fundraising. Hopefully all of you guys know at this point that we have made changes. The biggest being that we aren't charging credit cards this year. So we are definitely encouraging fundraising and using these incentive prizes to do that. But you know, we don't want anybody to feel at risk that if, you know, for some reason they aren't able to raise the money, if they've been laid off, they're not going to be in financial distress because of the try. So we've also reduced the levels, like a CBAG for $750. That's amazing. Usually that's $1,500. And so we've adjusted everything. The threshold to get the medal and the shirt is $250. So that's reduced, but if you do want to get your medal and your shirt, while you're not required to fundraise, you do need to raise that much to get those items. And the big thing is the guaranteed entry for next year. So if you raise $500, which is, you know, the commitment that we all set out to when we signed up back in February or before, I'm sorry, so if you raise $500 this year, you will have a guaranteed entry for next year. So that is reduced from $1,500. So if you have any questions about fundraising, if we can do anything to support you throughout the next few months, please reach out and we would be happy to talk. And here's how you can reach out. You can reach Julie or myself at these email addresses. If it's questions about logistics of the race, swimming, biking, running, Julie's definitely the expert on all that stuff. If you have questions about fundraising, or like logistics with your registration, you want to get a team member signed up, those can all be directed to me. And that's it. Thank you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Julie. So Julie is the founder and race director, and I'll let her take over.
Well, this seems really weird to be doing a swim clinic this way. Normally we do about 4 of them with 100 people and 100 people on a wait list. So again, another different year. But when we go to swim clinic, it's usually everybody's really nervous. Obviously, you guys look all relaxed, sitting at home, no big deal to swim, okay? But there will be a time where you're going to have your wetsuit on or whatever you're going to do, and you're going to be nervous standing there beside the water. And hopefully some of the things that we go over here today will help you with that. Are any of you here first timers? No? Okay, so everybody's done this before. They know what it's like. This year. You also won't be having to do that huge group start, nor will you have to swim with 100 other people. So those would not be COVID friendly social distancing things. So you will be swimming at least with yourself and maybe a couple other friends. And I would encourage you to do that. I know Maddie has got a cool plan right on her Facebook page right now. And, everybody should come up with how they see themselves doing their own virtual Try for a Cure. I know even myself have been thinking about my own virtual Try for a Cure, and I will let you guys all know that I'm actually going to do it on August 3rd. And that will be my 60th birthday. I know I don't look 60, but I am. And that is the way I am going to celebrate Try for a Cure. I actually had expectations in 2008 when we started that by the time I was 60, I would no longer be the race director, and then I would actually be doing the race from then on. But everybody has a plan. It's really hard to let go. It's probably my most favorite thing that I do. And if you love what you do, you never want to give it up. So I might be 80 and still doing this. Who knows? So
I'm quoting you on that, Julie. I'm holding it to that.
Then you'll be like 60. No, not quite. But anyway, so with this virtual triathlon, it is different. Again, this year it's your own time, your own place, your own pace. Okay, so pick something. I know Maddie picked Ferry Beach. It's her favorite beach in the whole wide world. So that's where she's going to do her swim. I think that, everybody should pick something that's special for them. The try happens to be a 1/3 of a mile swim, but that doesn't mean that you actually have to do a 1/3 of a mile. If swimming is something that is easy for you, maybe you make your swim a mile. And if it's really difficult for you, then maybe the 1/3 of a mile is your goal, and that's just fine. Whatever your goal may be is what your goal should be. And there is, the opt-out that you can do the duathlon if you want to too. So Kirsten and I would not opt for that because actually I like to swim. So that would not be an option for me at all. But this year you can also do your swim in other places. You can do it in a pool. And you can do it in a lake, or you could do it in the infamous ocean. So challenge yourself, go to Pine Point with the waves. That would be kind of fun too. I've done a couple of triathlons like at Scarborough Beach. That was a great place to do them. And I've done them also at Old Orchard Beach, which was absolutely fabulous early in the morning. It's just beautiful out there. Very sandy bottom. Actually, I kind of like ocean swimming better than lake swimming because the things that you see down below aren't quite as scary. Like at Old Orchard Beach, it's really beautiful. It's very sandy, and it's kind of like, well, not in the Caribbean, but it's actually quite nice out there to swim in the ocean versus the lake, even though the lake is pretty warm. But the most important part about swimming is, your safety precautions. And, if you're going to do it alone, or even if you're going to do it with 2 or 3 other people, it's really important that you have some people to help you get through that swim, just in case. I mean, at the pool, you certainly can make sure that there's a lifeguard on duty. And, they could count your lengths for you. They could be your cheering squad. If you're in there all alone, you don't want to have anybody see you swimming. And, in the lake and the ocean, it's really important that you have at least somebody there with you. Okay. I know sometimes we have swim angels. Swim angel probably isn't appropriate. I would probably get somebody on a kayak or a canoe, or, a paddle board that's just going beside you. They can also help you with your distances too. So they can let you know, have a GPS or something, and let you know when you've reached your goal. The other thing is to make sure that you have a brightly colored swim cap. And some people would think that blue is brightly colored, but in the ocean, that is definitely not brightly colored. Pink is really awesome. Yellow is really awesome. Lime green is really awesome. Anything that stands out is really good. When we do large swim groups, inevitably there's lots of people with a black one, maybe because it matches their wetsuit, but is definitely not good for having other people see you in the water. The other thing that's really great is a swim buoy, and I'm going to post a PDF after of this, and there'll be a couple links for some swim buoys. A swim buoy is something that you just blow up. You can put it around your waist, and it kind of drags behind you. And it also can help you as sort of a flotation device. It is not technically a flotation device. It's really something to mark you in the water so that boaters and other people can see you in the water. But I've seen a lot of women hold on to it on their stomachs, just if they need a breath or something like that. So it's a really good thing to have. That can be purchased on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I know I've had mine for years. So definitely a great investment, especially, when you're training too, not just for race day. Actually, at the Try for a Cure, during the race, you can't wear the swim buoy, but at your race, certainly you can. It would be a really good thing to probably have on. The thing that gets tricky is in the pool, is knowing if you want to swim a third of a mile, like the distances. Different pools have different lengths. There's a 25-yard pool, and there's a 25-meter pool, and meters are longer than yards. So you would swim less laps. On the PDF, it will tell you that it's 550 yards or 22 lengths for a yard pool, or 500 meters and 20 lengths for a metered pool. I can't tell you offhand what pools are what. Maybe Kirsten knows those. I'm sure she does. But you can ask the lifeguard when you get there how long the pool is. For your distances, the only way to really track and the ocean is a GPS. Or if you're in a lake, maybe some people will know how far it is from buoy to buoy. So, get an idea when you're practicing how long you're going. And make a goal with your distance for your swim. Let's see, pools, places to swim. Right now, there are no pools open at all. Oh, actually, Cape Elizabeth, I think, is opening Monday.
I think next week.
Next week, yeah, I think it's next week. A couple pools are opening up. The only one I know right now is Cape Elizabeth pool opening. There may be a few more, so if you want to go swim in a pool, I would suggest calling them first to make sure that they're open. I know that with Cape Elizabeth pool, you have to call them in advance and get an appointment, and only one person in a lane at a time. And I think there's a half-hour time limit with how long that you can be in the pool. So pools are going to be a little bit more difficult. As far as lakes go, lakes are open, but some public beaches on the lakes are closed. So if your access to a lake happens to be by public way, you'll have to find out whether they're open or not. I know a lot of us swim up at Crystal Lake in Gray, and their public beach is definitely closed. So you would need some kind of access through somebody's home or something like that to get into the water to swim. The other thing, if you have a pool at your house, Kirsten was telling me that a tether is really in right now with COVID. You can somehow put this little thing around your waist and you hook it to something. Let's say, I don't know, your drain, or there's a something on the side of your pool, and you just swim against. Yeah, you swim against the tension of the pulley, and you don't go anywhere, but you can swim for days. So I don't know how many of you have a pool, but I've seen quite a few of those on Facebook, and people seem to like them. I know there are those pools that do the water that you can swim in them forever, and I think some of those are open actually. I know up in the Auburn area there's one, and it's one person getting in the pool at a time, and it's self-propelled, and you just get in and swim. Ocean's a little bit tricky. Depends on your level of ability. I would say if you're new to swimming, that I would stick to somewhere in the ocean where it's protected. Maybe waves are not something that you want to tackle at first, because when you go out there and do that, it's hard to maneuver, because you're always, if you get seasick sometimes, I know I do. So it's hard to see the land if there's waves too. So you have to be really careful about where you swim. I know some good places that don't have a lot of waves are like Willard Beach, the Falmouth Town Landing, Kettle Cove is great. And even Pine Point is good. The waves aren't huge down there. I think at low tide, it's a little bit better than it is at high. But definitely go somewhere where your level of ability would fit. SMCC, we're not encouraging everybody to go down there, because we just don't need to have 1,400 women that are doing the race go down there and swim. It is a protected cove there, but there are certainly other places that you can go to. The thing about swimming is it should be near you, and it should be easy for you to get to. And hopefully you know friends that have a lake, because that's what I would choose. I'm not sure what I'm going to choose. I'm supposed to be in Banff on August 3rd, so I'm hoping to do my triathlon actually in Banff. We'll see what happens there. That's really it for me. Those are just some overall things that you can do, where to swim, what the triathlon looks like. I'm not a swimming expert by any means, but I did meet one through, I'm not sure how I met Kirsten, but Kirsten was a coach at She Jams for a long time. She has her own swimming coaching business. She's fabulous to work with. I know she did some great work with me, which is completely lost at this point. But Kirsten's, she can do anything from a beginner to an absolute advanced swimmer. She started swimming, she's been swimming all her life, and then stopped, and then again came into it later in life. And she's one of those top finishers at Peaks to Portland. She likes to go fast. She's got big, long arms, and she's a really long torso, and she's an amazing swimmer to watch. So I'm going to let Kirsten go on and tell you all the intricacies about how to train and those kind of things. So Kirsten, thank you for joining us.
Sure. Okay. So I'm Kirsten Reed, and my business is called KGR Coaching. I have been the volunteer coordinator at Try for a Cure at the Swim Start for the past 4 years. This would have been my 5th year. I think I would have been gotten a coat or something like that, or jacket, maybe. But sadly, not this year. Okay, so I am not only a coach, but I'm a swimmer. I like to compete anywhere from 1 mile to 6 miles, and 6 it's a little much, but sometimes I go that far. I've been coaching for about 4 years, and I coach one-on-one and small groups as well. Really small this year. I'm keeping it to 6 or 7 people due to COVID, social distancing, and we're being really careful. So we want to talk about training first off, what to wear. Some of you may already know this, but let's just go over it for the people who don't. Bathing suit. We all need a bathing suit for the pool, the ocean, or the lake. Wetsuits. They are recommended. You know, right now the lakes are beautiful. If you're not training right now, you should be. The temperature is beautiful. It's about, I would say, 67, 68. I prefer a wetsuit without sleeves, but it's really up to you. Wetsuits afford buoyancy, and a lot of beginner swimmers really love that feeling of the extra buoyancy and their legs not sinking like they might in the pool. For some people, the transition can be a little bumpy from pool to open water wetsuit swimming because they feel a little bit restricted, you know, around the neck. And so just anticipate that if this is new to you, going from pool to open water, it's a transition. And to know that it might take a little getting used to, but some people absolutely love it. I would say most people do, and most people love the wetsuit and love the buoyancy that it affords. Want to have a wetsuit, if you're buying one, we want it to fit tightly, okay? We don't want to see big rolls and gaps. You don't want water flooding through your wetsuit. You just want a little bit of water that goes in there, gets warm, and keeps you insulated. Of course, you don't want it to be so tight that you can't move your arms. So the fit is really important. If you're going to borrow one from someone, you know, try it on first, try it out. If you have a surfing wetsuit, if you know what the difference is, I get a lot of people coming to me with a surfing wetsuit is more like cloth. It's got a texture to it. It's black, but it soaks up water, and they're heavy. And actually, it was the first wetsuit that I bought. I went to a surfing shop, and they sold me. I told them I was a long distance swimmer, and they sold me a surfing wetsuit. And I showed up to my first race, and someone said, "You can't wear that." So I made that mistake myself. So make sure you get one that's the neoprene, the rubber, because you don't want to be soaking up water. Okay, so as Julie said, bright swim cap. Not only do you not want black, you don't want white. You look like a white cap in the white caps when you're swimming with a white cap. So something colored. Goggles. If you're going to swim in the morning or night when the sun is down and in your eyes and blinding you, that, you know, I like to have a dark goggle. Any other time, I actually like a clear goggle, and I, you know, treat yourself, if you can afford it, to something that's clear, not all scratched up, because that is going to be foggy for you. I actually like the Quick Spit spray, and some people like the wipes. It really makes swimming so much more fun if you can see. Lubrication. Not as much in fresh water, but in salt water, you are going to want to make sure that you put some sort of body glide. I like 2 Toms roll-on, but something around here. If you have a sleeveless wetsuit, you're going to want to put it around your arm. You can get terrible chafing if you don't do that. So I recommend that highly. Okay, so that pretty much covers, let's see, earplugs. We did list earplugs. I have the silicone earplugs. I do not wear them all the time, but I do wear them if it's very, very cold water. Also, some people do get seasick or dizzy, and that helps with that as well. I also have, for cold water, a thermal swim cap, and that is black, and it goes under your bright cap. So if it's very cold, you can either wear 2 normal swim caps, or you can wear a thermal with a bright swim cap over it. So that's another way to keep yourself warmer when you move to the ocean. You do not need 2 caps right now. You do not need earplugs right now. The water is gorgeous in the lakes. Okay, so moving on, practice. It's called practice for a reason. And if you're not getting in the water right now to practice, you really should be. You know, when we have the big meetings with Julie on the beach every year, she usually says, has anyone here not gotten in the water yet? And some people raise their hands, and, you know, don't wait till the last minute. Get in now. This is not only a perfect time to get in the water, but it's a perfect time to get over some of those hurdles that might keep you from enjoying open water swimming. Practice is going to help your technique. It's going to help your endurance, but it's also going to help you psychologically get over, maybe if you have that anxiety over, you know, I'm just not sure about this and that and the other. When you have some successful experiences getting over that hump and having a great swim, everyone you stack up is going to bring you closer to going to the starting line of any race and feeling happy and confident that you're going to be able to do it. So practice is the first tip of mine. Now, the next tips, I have 3 top tips for your technique. The first is to focus on breathing. Now, most people that come to me feel sort of try for a cure, and even people just transitioning from pool to open water are surprised that they feel maybe a little bit more out of breath, a little bit anxious. Maybe they can't get their rhythm for their breathing. So that's really important. That's the first thing. Nothing else, that's the foundation. Nothing else is really going to be easy until you get your breathing down pat. It's really important to get your face in the water. I see a lot of people try for a cure with their face out of the water. They're very tense, they're very panicked, and they're upright. And that is the hardest way to swim. So we want to get our faces in the water. So we want to practice freestyle. Now, that said, if you want to do your virtual distance in a stroke other than freestyle, feel free. If you end up doing backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, just get the distance done. And that's the same at Try for a Cure, at SMCC. Just get the distance done. But when you're practicing, let's see if we can get our freestyle, progressing, get our face in the water. So it's really important that we learn to exhale with our face in the water and inhale when we turn to breathe. And it sounds really simple, but it can be a stumbling block for people. I have put on the PDF, we have put a link to Breathing for Beginners that I think is really helpful. So take a look at that if you're still having problems. My number 2 tip, relax. As I said, people get panicked, okay? They tense up, they hold their breath. I have another link. This one I star in the video. It's called the Zen drill, and it's all about swimming effortlessly, efficiently, and easy. So we swim longer, we glide more, and we make swimming a lot easier. Most people that come to me that don't quite have a handle on their swimming yet are taking a lot of short strokes that aren't very efficient. So we want to stretch those strokes out and make them more efficient. And so try my Zen drill and take a look at it, but relaxing and trusting that the water is going to support you, and especially in your wetsuit, you are extremely buoyant. If you lie on the water with your arms in Superman with a light kick, no swimming, you are right on the top of the water. And there's just no reason that you can't take light, easy strokes to get you moving forward. Most people expend way too much energy trying to swim when they could be taking relaxing, long strokes. That brings me to my third tip: swim as tall as possible. If we are a boat, we want to be the longest boat we can. So my third drill on my website, and my website is kgrcoaching.com. And if you click on my blog, you'll see that I've done about 5 or 6 quick swim tips. And the one about swimming tall is teaching the catch-up stroke. This is the almost catch-up stroke, so that every time you extend an arm, the other arm almost catches up before that first arm pulls back. And so that keeps you a very long boat. So that gets you taking fewer strokes. It gets you relaxing more, and it affords you more time to work on your breathing. So it kind of, all those ideas dovetail together, I think, to make those top 3 tips make swimming easier. Okay, now there are 2 more blog links there, and they're sighting links. It's really important that you learn to sight in open water for your safety. First of all, you really have to be looking for boats, jet skis, people swimming in the opposite direction. Now with COVID, you can't just swim willy-nilly and swim over people. You really have to be aware. So it's important to set a goal. If you're going to swim with 4 people or 3 people, set a goal. Okay, let's swim towards that White House for 5 minutes or whatever. And then, you look up every 6 or 8 strokes and make sure you're still swimming towards the White House. And if you all do that, you will swim in a much straighter line, and you will be able to maintain social distancing. Okay, so sighting, and then there's one more blog for people who are a little more advanced swimmers. I have a drill called Boxer Drill, and it is about adding more power and using your core more. So feel free to take a look at that. Okay, so there we go. We got practice freestyle. Now, we want to talk about warming up a little bit. Now, this pertains to any practice swims you do or your race day swim, You want to let your body know what's going to happen. You don't want to just jump in. It's actually dangerous, especially if you go in the ocean, to just jump in to cold water and start swimming really hard. You should get in the water, get wet, put some water down your wetsuit, and do some bobs. Practice your breathing, practice your exhaling underwater, practice exhaling for 2 beats, coming up, inhale for 1 beat, because that simulates what you're going to be doing in your freestyle stroke. Warm up is designed to get circulation going, your lungs opened up, your muscles loosened. So we want to get past that initial cold jolt that we know we're going to feel. And this goes back to practicing. If you know that you successfully can get over and acclimate to cold water and it's not that bad, then you'll know this time it's going to happen too. I'm going to feel fine. I might feel cold for 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and then it feels great, actually. It's quite invigorating. So warming up is really important for practicing and for race day. Now, nerves. Everyone has nerves, okay? I have nerves, but I've learned to control my nerves, and I've learned, because I've had successful experiences, that I'm going to be fine. And once I start racing, they will go away. When I first started racing, I was a complete mess. And I wish I knew then what I know now. And there's just really no need for it. So now, I do more laughing. I do more smiling. I do more deep breathing. Whatever sort of pre-race or pre-practice, mantra that you want to practice, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Deep, deep breaths, calm yourself down. But this is supposed to be fun, and this is good for you. But there's just no reason to be so anxious, okay? That hopefully will help you. But as I said, the more that you can put yourself in these experiences and have successful experiences, the easier it will get. Okay, so race day. Choose what to wear. I always pack my bag, lay everything out the night before so that I get a good night's sleep, that I know that I've got everything. I usually take a cute picture of it and post it on social media. If you're going to do the whole tri, you want to swim with your tri shorts and tri top under your wetsuit. I'm not a triathlete, but I know this to be true. Choose your swim route in advance. You should always know where you're going to enter and exit the water. You should know your swim area, know if there are rip tides. You should have some support with you. You should have friends. People should know where you are and that you're swimming. So to be safe, it's really important, but you really shouldn't swim alone ever. Okay, so you should either have a boat with you or be swimming with a friend. Warm up before you start, and make sure that you wear your bright cap. And as Julie said, normally in the race, on race day, we don't take the buoy, but there's no reason why you can't. And some races actually require the buoy now. But plan to have fun with the swim, and bring your friends and family and have them waiting for you at the finish, and have a wonderful time. I hope that this is the year that you get out there, and if you don't already, that you fall in love with open water swimming.
The only thing that I'll add is that usually at the Try for a Cure, we have wetsuit strippers, and there's no reason why you can't all get your own personal wetsuit stripper too, because there's nothing worse than taking off your own wetsuit. So find a friend that's willing to pull your wetsuit off you when you get out of the water. That's one of my tips. That was great, Kirsten. Is anybody, you want to unmute people, Julia, and ask if anybody has any questions, or you're muted, Julia.
Sorry. I know there is a way for me to unmute everybody. Unmute all. Feel free to remute yourself, though, if you would not like to be unmuted. But does anybody have any questions?
Everybody know where they're going to swim? Luann, where are you going to swim?
Brandy Pond.
Yay!
Yeah. So I will put my 2 cents in about those buoy buddies. They are amazing. And a couple people here have purchased them after they saw mine. They do definitely give you the huge peace of mind. And, you know, boats can see you, wave runners can see you, and then they really will hold you up.
Yeah, they're better than a bright swim cap, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Yep.
And some of them are dry bags too, which is helpful.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Anybody else want to share? And we know where Maddie's going to swim.
Cool. Well,
Okay.
thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You go first, Julie.
I'm all set.
Yeah, thank you everybody so much for joining tonight. And I will get this downloaded from Zoom and uploaded onto YouTube, and I should have it on the website along with all those links that Julie shared, and kind of an overview of what we talked about today. That will all be at tryforcure.org/clinics. But please reach out if you think of a question that you didn't think of tonight. Please don't hesitate to shoot us an email. We'd be happy to put some fear at ease if we can. So thank you all again so very much, and we'll see you soon, hopefully. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.